Okay, this is how to program a button. So in the event that you need to create a new milk button, you go to the little keypad, type in tech, go enter, and you go to products and keys, pick a slots that's not used, so we can use this slot here, and select a product type. So the product type has a whole bunch of different ones you could pick, but we could go to milk, hit OK. It only has a few different things you'd want to modify. The first would be, sorry, not the product type, but the product name. So let's just call this test. And then what we would do here is, should say milk arm. There's only two factors that you can really modify: the foam texture and then the foam quantity. So for foam texture, you would want to first figure out obviously how nice your milk is going to look. So let's say that we want to add a texture of about 20. You can hit product test and it should come out of the milk arm here. And it'll come out for that 10 seconds. Then if you look on the inside of the milk pitcher here, if that's good quantity or if it's good quality milk, great. This looks to be a little too thin for, let's say, a latte, so we could try again. So maybe we bump it up to 30 and hit product test again. So once we look inside there and see what that looks like, and you can kind of see where it's sticking on the walls, that's probably appropriate for like a flat white, but maybe a little bit too thin for a latte. So we'll bump it up one more time. Let's go to 40. If we feel like we're happy with that milk there, then what we can do is check the quantity. So let's say that you want enough to fill your pitcher up to like right there or right there or right there, or even if you just, how I do it is if you want to fill up a whole cup. So let's say you want to fill up this latte cup essentially to the top, you would just hit the milk quantity button and go to learn quantity and just let it go essentially until you're happy with how much milk will be in the cup at the end of the process. And so you're just imagining that maybe you're pouring this drink here into your latte cup and you have an endless amount of milk in your pitcher. And let's say that that's enough. We'll hit stop because we'll have had some espresso in there. And you'll see up here it'll change the amount of seconds to 32 seconds. And that would be for a 4-here latte as an example. So then if you want to save this, you would just hit the back button. And now all those settings are saved. And now when we go to that page, it should show up as test milk. And when we put our pitcher down there, we're going to get this latte milk texture here that looks pretty nice to me. And that's pretty much it. So then if you ever run into a problem where the milk texture is too thick or too thin, all you need to do is do that same process where, let's say for instance, this 8-ounce latte milk is now a little bit too thin or a little bit too thick. We can just hit foam texture and either bump it up a couple or bump it down a couple, and then you can recalibrate all of them to be like that as well. So if, like, let's say the number 35% is not what we want it to be, we want it to be 40, we would just basically go into each of these and bump that foam texture up to 40 and then hit save every time we go back. If the quantities are a problem, then what you'll want to do essentially is product test it. So you'll essentially just go to the milk quantity and just learn the amount that you want for a to-go cup or a for here cup of each size. And once you hit learn quantity and save it, then you'll be done with that whole process.